Here's more wrestling news for April 2nd, 2022, and your headlines for this WrestleMania Saturday afternoon include: has WWE changed plans for the Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns title unification match? Becky Lynch gives update on her tense friendship with former Bestie Charlotte Flair. WWE has huge stable plans for top superstars. Bret Hart says former Universal Champion doesn't belong in WWE Hall of Fame. Two-time WWE Hall of Famer announces severe injury from recent match. Vince McMahon sees current superstar as the next John Cena. Former WWE Champion has their doubts over Cody Rhodes' appearance, and more. We are kicking off with WrestleMania, as tomorrow night, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns will unify the WWE and Universal Championships in arguably the biggest main event in Mania history. This will be the third WrestleMania main event between the two, and with Reigns being a full-time superstar, many expect the Tribal Chief to stand tall in AT&T Stadium. That may no longer be the case, as in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it's reported that Lesnar is booked for the next two premium live events after WrestleMania. Lesnar will appear at both WrestleMania Backlash on May 8th, as well as Money in the Bank on July 2nd, and this could be a sign of the Beast making history tomorrow night. We won't know for certain who will win tomorrow until the match, but whoever wins and loses in the main event of WrestleMania Sunday, both Reigns and Lesnar are staying on TV. For years, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair were the best of friends, but things have changed since then. In the run-up to their clash at last year's Survivor Series, both men made it clear that there had been a falling out, with Lynch saying in interviews that Charlotte is jealous of her success. This real-life heat between the two was incorporated with WWE's booking, leading to one of the most personal matches in recent history that Lynch won last November. Speaking to BT Sport, Lynch was asked if things have gotten any easier between her and the Queen and said, "I wish the whole thing didn't go down the way it did. It didn't need to go down that way, but I don't really have any regrets on my behalf. Same relationship with Flair now compared to 2021. Same, just pass each other in the hallway, sometimes say hello, maybe a nod. No, however you questions." Ultimately, Charlotte and Becky are professionals and can handle themselves backstage without getting into fights, but the bond that once existed between the two former best friends is still far away from being mended, if it ever can be. Later today, Edge will face AJ Styles at WrestleMania in what's been considered a dream match by countless fans. Turning heel on the Phenomenal One last month, Edge has shown a side of him fans haven't seen in years, and he may be getting some backup on WWE TV. That's according to Fightful Select, who report that with Edge being heel for the first time in over a decade, WWE wants to add more to his presentation, and there's been a pitch for the Rated R superstar to have his own heel faction. Several names have already been pitched to be in the group, including Damian Priest, who also recently turned heel after losing the United States Championship to Finn Balor. Fightful added that unless plans change, this new group will begin imminently, perhaps as soon as WrestleMania itself, as Priest hasn't been booked for the show and would be completely fresh if he were to interfere. Edge has a history of stables, first as a member of the Brood and later being in charge of La Familia, and after turning heel, the Hall of Famer may once again have some henchmen of his own. In 1999, a stiff kick by Bill Goldberg to the head of Bret Hart ended the Hitman's in-ring career, and things still aren't exactly easy between the two. Not only does Hart still resent Goldberg for what happened, but seeing Bill's successful return to wrestling, including 2 reigns as Universal Champion and multiple WrestleManias, doesn't sit well with the Canadian legend. Speaking during a High Spots virtual signing, Hart was asked who he thinks should be in WWE's Hall of Fame and questioned whether Goldberg deserves his 2018 induction. "Personally, I think Barry Horowitz should be in the Hall of Fame, whereas Bill Goldberg shouldn't be. Barry Horowitz was a really good wrestler, never hurt anybody, ever. Was always a pro in there every night. That's a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame. Bill Goldberg hurt everybody he worked with. What's he in there for? I don't understand it." One of the most famed jobbers of all time, Horowitz rarely picked up wins throughout his career, but despite this, he's more deserving than the man who once boasted a 173-0 winning streak, according to Bret Hart. We've got some sad news from Sean Waltman, who is set to undergo the knife yet again. On Twitter, the two-time WWE Hall of Famer said he tore his bicep during GCW Welcome to the Heartbreak in February. At the event, Waltman teamed with Joey Janela to face Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. The tag team match had been Sean Waltman's first match since 2019. With the recent death of Scott Hall and this injury, this has been a difficult time for Waltman, and we'd like to send our best at this time to the man known as X-Pac. Since being drafted to Raw last October, Austin Theory has been on the receiving end of a huge push, including a WWE Championship match at Elimination Chamber and a storyline with Mr. McMahon. Tomorrow night, Theory will have his biggest match to date when he faces Pat McAfee at WrestleMania, but this will likely be the first of several huge WrestleManias for the 24-year-old superstar. On Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez discussed the ongoing Theory-McMahon angle and said that both in kayfabe and real life, the chairman sees the young superstar as a future John Cena-level talent. That's certainly a huge accolade to give to Theory, though it's also a ton of pressure to put on a young superstar who is already expected to live up to the 16-time world champion. Whether Theory lives up to that pressure remains to be seen, but the chairman is certainly giving his all in building one of the future top stars of his company. This month, the wrestling world lost Scott Hall, and while the industry as a whole has been mourning the loss of the bad guy, those closest to him have taken it especially hard. Speaking in a recent interview, Diamond Dallas Page, who worked with Hall to get sober, spoke about the former Razor-Ramon and explained the toll it's taken on Hall's best friend, Kevin Nash. "We took it hard, really hard, but Kev, he took it really hard. Like, I took it hard, he took it really hard, and you know, it was tough. That last week or so was really tough." DDP added that he thinks Nash will now focus his grief on helping Hall's son Cody get back into wrestling, as the second-generation star, who has worked with New Japan and Noah in the past, has been on hiatus since 2020. DDP said that he has already been speaking with Cody about it, and that they had both Cody's sister and Scott's brother Jeff over for dinner recently, and is confident that there's a future for Cody Hall in the ring. Page added, "He's been to Japan, he's been to the UK, he just needs a break. I think working independents right now, you know, the independent world out there, they draw. And I think Cody Hall, as a name, is a draw to see what he can do, you know? So I think the time, and we talked about this, and Kevin is like I just said, it's still really, really hard on him, so anything he can do to help out Cody, I think he'll do. It's just the friend Kevin Nash is." Sadly, Cody Hall will not be able to share the ring with his Hall of Fame father, but that doesn't mean his career in the ring has to come to an end. And we're ending today with Cody Rhodes, who is expected to return to WWE tonight as the mystery opponent of Seth Rollins. That's at least what the majority of fans believe, but there are still some who have their doubts about whether the former AEW Executive Vice President is coming back. Speaking to Wrestling Inc., AJ Styles says he hasn't seen Cody at all in the run-up to the show, adding that there's a lot of rumors and don't believe something until you actually see it. Styles also said he'll only believe Cody's back when he sees it in person, as the former world champion isn't convinced. Joining WWE in January 2016, Styles and Rhodes were only in the same company for a matter of months before the latter left in May that year, but Styles isn't expecting to face Cody in a WWE ring just yet. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.